Hello everyone, welcome to WebDev Warrior. In today's video, we're going to build a startup landing page from scratch. We're going to use the latest version of Next.js, which is Next.js 15. We're going to use Tailwind CSS, and we're also going to use TypeScript to build this beautiful landing page. First, let me show you a demo of this landing page. So if I reload the page, you can see we have animation in our website. Here we have a logo, we have some nav links, and a very beautiful button with hover effect. Then we have this hero section with image and some beautifully designed text content with beautiful buttons. Now if I start scrolling, you can see we have scroll animation in our website which looks very beautiful, and you can see our design looks premium. So if I start scrolling, here you can see we have scroll animation which looks amazing. So this is our feature section. Then we have this services section with animation. Then we have this beautiful client review section with scroll animation. Then we have this team section. Then we have this pricing section. And finally, we have this footer. And here you can see we have a button. So if I click here, it will go to the top. So this is a scroll to top button, and you can see it smoothly go to the top. So we're also going to implement this common feature which can be found in every website. So now if I show you the website, you can see it looks amazing. Every section looks premium. And another important thing is this website is fully mobile responsive. Not only mobile, it fits for all devices. So if I inspect the page and if I select a mobile device, you can see now we have just logo, we have the button and a burger menu. So if I click here, it will open up the navigation sidebar with smooth animation, and it looks awesome. And you can close it, and it also closes with the smooth animation. So it looks amazing, and you can also see that all the content fit nicely in our mobile devices. No overflow here. You can see everything looks amazing in the mobile devices. It feels like it's a mobile app, and you can see our every section, our pricing section, and also the button works properly. Now I say that it's not only fit for mobile devices but also it's fit for every devices. Now if I show you the iPad version, so in the iPad you can see in iPad it also fit perfectly, and every section looks amazing in the iPad version also. You can see everything looks amazing. So this is our landing page. So in this video, we are going to build this from scratch, and I'm going to teach you everything from scratch. I'm going to show you how you can initialize a Next.js 15 project with Tailwind CSS. I'm going to show you the basic routing in Next.js, how routing works in Next.js. I'm going to show you how you can create a reusable component, how you can design this landing page, and how you can structure your file, how you can make your website mobile responsive, and finally I'm going to show you how you can deploy your project in live server and share the link to your client, or you can add the link to your resume. So I encourage you to watch the full video for better understanding, and it's a beginner friendly project, so it will be very helpful for the beginner to learn the core concept of the Next.js. And the source code of this project and the starter file of this project will be given in the description. And if you have any question related to this project, you can ask me in the comment section. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe our channel for more interesting web development project video. Now, without wasting any time, start building this amazing landing page. Now I'm going to set up our project. So for this, I'm going to create a new folder inside my PC, and I'm going to name it startup YT. And then I'm going to open this folder using my Visual Studio Code. And in Visual Studio Code, I'm going to open a new terminal, and here I'm going to initialize our Next.js project. So I'm going to use npx create next app at the rate latest, and I'm going to use a dot slash so that all the packages are installed in this startup YT folder. Then I'm going to hit enter, and we're going to type Y to proceed. We're going to use TypeScript in our project. We're going to use ESLint. We're going to use Tailwind CSS. We do not need the source directory. We're going to use the app router, and the turbo pack is basically for faster development. So we're going to use the turbo pack also. It is introduced in the Next.js 15, and it's basically for the development purposes. It doesn't help you in your deployment or anything like that. So it just make your development process faster, like the save the changes more faster, and you can see the changes quickly in your browser. So we're going to use the turbo pack, and we do not need to customize our import aliases. So now this will install all the necessary packages for our project. So let's wait some time to complete the installation. Our installation is completed. Now let's go through the file system and the folders that are generated here. So first here we have the tsconfig.js JSON, and we do not need to do anything here. Then we have this tailwind config. Here inside this theme we are going to remove the extend part. We do not need it. Then we have this readme post css packet json. You do not need to touch anything here, and this app is our main folder. So here we have the global.css. So in global.css I'm going to remove this extra code because we are going to start from scratch, and I'm going to hit save. Then we have this layout folder. So what is layout folder? Layout is the overall wrapper of our project. So it wrap our entire project. So for example, here you can see the children. So if you add a navbar at the top and then a footer at the bottom, then any page you created inside this project will have this navbar and footer common to it. So this is the overall wrapper of our project. It wraps our entire project. So we are going to work on this layout folder later. Now I'm going to remove this. Then we have this page.tsx. This is the main page. So when you go to the localhost 3000, this page will appear to the screen. So I'm going to remove everything, and then I'm going to use a shortcut. So RAFC to create a component boilerplate, and I'm going to name this home page, and I'm going to hit it. Now if you're wondering how I created this component boilerplate using this shortcut, so for this you have to install a extension. So the extension you need to install is this extension ES7 React Redux React Native snippet. By installing this extension, you can create component boilerplate using this shortcut technique. So now I'm going to apply some tailwind class name to check if our tailwind is working or not. So I'm going to give text 5xl and text blue 700, and then I'm going to run our project using npm run dev and hit enter. So now here you can see it using the turbo pack for running our application. That's why it's more faster than the previous one. So now I'm going to open my browser and go to the localhost 3000. Here you can see we have our larger text and we have the blue background. Not background, blue text color. That means our tailwind is working properly. So now I'm going to remove this. Now let me show you what layout is. So for example, if I add a navbar here and a footer here, this will be attached to our project. So here you can see we have our navbar and footer, and this navbar and footer will be available for all the pages that you created inside this project. So this will be the common for both pages, not both pages, for all pages you created. So that's the work of layout. Now I'm going to teach you the basic routings in Next.js. I'm going to teach you the static routing as well as the dynamic routing. So for example, we're going to create some of the URL here. So localhost 3000. So this is our home page, which we can see here. So this is our localhost 3000 page. Then we're going to create a page for localhost 3000 slash, for example, let's suppose you are creating a e-commerce website. So for example, here let's say you have the product page. So this is one page. Then let's say you have localhost 3000 slash product slash product details page. And lastly, let's suppose you have a localhost 3000 slash product details slash the ID of the product. Let's say 1. So we are going to create these three pages so that you have a better understanding of how routing works in Next.js. So first, let's create this one. So for this, what you need to do is you need to create a folder using this name. So product. So I'm going to create a folder called product. And inside this, I'm going to create a page.tsx. And it is very important that you have to name it page. Otherwise, it will not work. Here I am going to use RFC to create a component boilerplate, and let's say product. Now if I hit save and go to our browser, and if I go to localhost 3000 slash product and hit enter, so you can see now here we have the navbar, we have the footer, because in our layout we add our navbar and footer. That's why this is attached to all the pages that we are going to create here. Here you can see we have the navbar and footer, and also you can see the product here. So this is our product page. Now if you want to create a page like where you have the product as well as the product details, now what you need to do is you need to create a folder inside this product, and the name will be the product detail. So inside this product, let's create another folder called product details, and now move this page.tsx here, and here let's name it product details. So product details. Now if I hit save and if I go to our browser, now let's first go to the localhost 3000. Now we are in the localhost 3000. Now let's go to the localhost 3000 slash product details. Now if I hit enter, now you can see we have our navbar, we also have our footer, and here we have our product details. So now we are in the product details page. Next, I'm going to teach you the dynamic routing. So for this, so if you want to create something like this, product details slash the ID, what you need to do is inside this product details, you have to create a folder, but this folder will be wrapped inside this third bracket. And here you have to give the property you want to show here. So for example, here I will give this ID. So you'll get the ID here. And inside this, we are going to create a page.tsx. And let's delete this one. And inside this, I'm going to use RFC to create the component boilerplate, and let's name it product. And here give this product details 1. So now if I go here, so this page is not existed anymore, and here we need to go to the slash, then we have to give the ID. Let's say we give the ID of 12. Now if I hit enter, now you can see we have the navbar, footer, and then the product detail. Now the question is how you can extract this ID. So for this we are going to use the params here. So you will get params here. So params, and this params, when the params will be a type of object that have the ID of type string. And in Next.js 15, the params is an asynchronous operation. So To get the params value, we need to perform async wait here. So for that reason, I'm going to use async here, and then we will get the ID from await params, and we're going to wrap this and dot ID. And now if I show the ID here, if I hit save, go to our project, here you can see we have 12. So here we pass 12 as an ID and we get it here. So that's how you will get the param in a dynamic route. Now let's go to the localhost 3000. So this is the route. This is how the routing works in Next.js. I hope you get a solid understanding of how routing works in Next.js. Now you can create multiple pages in your website. And if you want that I create a tutorial where I build 4 to 5 pages of a website, then please comment that you want to see these types of tutorial, and I will make a tutorial where I will show you 4 to 5 page website in Next.js. So now you have the understanding of basic routing. So I'm going to delete this folder because we do not need it here, and delete this, and let's remove this also. So now what we are going to do is we are going to set up our project for our landing page. Now here in public, I'm going to create a folder called images because we need some images in our project. So in images, I'm going to copy some of the images that we are going to use, and don't worry, this image will be given in the starter file, and the starter file is in the description. So I'm going to copy this and paste it here. So these are some of the images that we are going to use in our project. Next, what we are going to do is we are going to set up our font. So to set up our font, we are going to open our layout, and here you can see they give us some fonts, but we are not going to use this. So I'm going to comment out. If you want, you can use this. And here we are going to import rethink sans. We are going to use this, and here I'm going to create a variable called font, and I'm going to use rethink sans, and here we have to pass some parameters. So first one is the font width, and we're going to use the 400, 500, 600, 700, and 800. And another one is subset, so we have to pass the subset, and the subset will be Latin. And then we are going to pass this here. So first remove this, and then we are going to pass font dot class name. That's it. And I'm going to also remove this navbar and footer because we are going to add this when we actually build the navbar and footer. Next, we are going to configure our metadata. This metadata is very important for SEO purposes. When you build a production level application, you must need to provide the metadata carefully for the SEO purposes. For here, I am going to give this a startup landing page. And for the description, I'm going to use this. So I'm going to copy this and paste it here, and then I'm going to add using Next.js 15. You can use anything you want. So now if I go to our project, if I reload the page, here you can see we have different types of font now, and here you can see at the top we have startup landing page. So that's awesome. Now in our project we need to use some icons. So for the icons, we're going to use an icon library which is React icon. So if I go to their GitHub pages, you can see they have different types of icons that you can use in your project. So we are going to install these packages. So I am going to open their npm pages, and here I am going to copy the npm script. So let's remove this one, and I'm going to split the terminal, and here I'm going to paste it. and this will install the React icons in our project. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a folder called components, and inside the components I'm going to create a folder called home, and I'm going to create another folder called helper. In helper we're going to add the helper component, and in home folder we're going to add our homepage related component like the hero section, the client review, and all of that. And here I'm going to create a home.tsx, and I'm going to use RFC to create the component boilerplate. And in this component we are going to add all our homepage component like the hero section, the feature section, service section, and all of this. And then I'm going to add this in our app, in our homepage. That's how we have a clean homepage component. So here we are going to add our home, so our homepage is clean, and we are going to add our homepage related components in our home.tsx. And here we are going to add a class name of overflow hidden, so we do not need any overflow. So that's it. So now if I go to our project, here you can see we have just the text home. So this is our setup. Now we are going to build the navbar. So if I show you the navbar in the deployed version, here you can see we have a logo, some nav links, and a very beautiful button. So now we are going to build the navbar. So first I'm going to create a new folder inside my home folder, and I'm going to name it Navbar. And inside this I'm going to create three files. One is nav.tsx. So this is for the desktop navbar. So I'm going to use RFC to create the component boilerplate, and I'm going to hit save. Then I'm going to create another one which is mobile nav.tsx. This is for the mobile navigation bar. And then I'm going to create another one which is responsive nav, that will contains the logic to make our navbar responsive. And I'm going to use RFC to create the component boilerplate, and then here we are going to add our navbar, our nav, and also the mobile nav. And then we are going to add this in our layout so that all the page have access to this navbar. So here we are going to add our responsive navbar component. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our nav, mobile nav, and this home are coming from our home component. So now first go to the nav.tsx, and the first div we are going to add some class name here, and the class name we are going to use transition all because we are going to add some animation. So if I show you the deployed version, here you can see initially the navbar doesn't have any shadow or background. So if I start scrolling, you can see its background is white and we have this shadow, and you can see its transition is smooth. That's why we use the transition property in our navbar. So we're going to use transition all. We are going to add a duration of 200 milliseconds. We're going to use height of 12 VH, Z index will be 100, and this one will be fixed positioning, and width will be full. Then inside this div we have another div. So here what we are going to do is, if I go to our deployed version, and if I draw here, you can see we are going to divide into this. We're going to use flex. So this one will be one flex item, and this one will be another, and this one will be another flex item. That's why we're going to define a div for the flex. So this div will have a class name of flex, items will be center, height will be full, justify will be between, width will be 90%, in extra alerts width will be 80%, mx will be auto. Now if I hit save, then the first element is our logo. So here we have a div with class name of flex, items will be center, SpaceX will be 2, and then inside this div we have an icon which is GR technology, and this one is coming from our React icon that we installed previously in our setup. Icon will have a class name of width of 6, height of 6, and text will be white, and this icon will be inside another div. And let's move it to this div, and this div will have a class name of width 10, height 10, bg will be blue 800, rounded will be full, this one will be flex, items will be center, not baseline, center, justify will be center, and flex will be in the column direction. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our icons which looks amazing. And then what we have is, after this div we have a h1 with the text take dev, and this h1 will have a class name of text excel. This one will be hidden in smaller devices, we just show the logo in smaller devices, so that's why it will be hidden, and small devices, small and higher devices, it will be blocked. So in the small you can see it's 640 pixels. Then what we have is in medium screen, text will be 2xl, and text color will be blue 800, and font bold. Now if I save, so you can see this is our logo. So our logo is complete. Next we have this nav links. So for the nav links, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new folder outside. So at the root level we're going to create a folder called constant, and here I'm going to create a file called constant.ts, and here we are going to add our constant variable like the nav links and other constant variable if we need it. So I'm going to export const nav links, and this one will be an array of object, and each object contains an id and a url. For now I'm going to add hash, but if you have actual url you can add the url link here, and the label. The label will be first one is home. So I'm going to copy it multiple times. We need 7 of them. The second one will be id 2, and the label will be features. Then we have id 3, label will be services, id 4, reviews. Then we have id 5, team. Then we have id 6, pricing, and then we have id 7 of contact. Now by doing this you can easily add or remove any of the nav link you want, and you do not need to repeat the same styling for this and that. So it is more optimized. Now let's go to the Navbar, and this is our logo. So after the logo we have our nav links. So let's give this a comment of nav links. Here we have a div with class name of hidden. This one will be hidden in small devices, because in small devices we have the sidebar navigation. Then we have in large screen, this one will be flex. Items will be center. SpaceX will be 10. And then here inside we're going to import our nav links from our constant. We're going to map through it. We will get the individual link, and then we're going to return a link component. So this link will be coming from our next link, and this link will have a href, and this one will be link dot url. This is just hash for now. Then we have to pass the key. The key will be link dot id, and then inside this link we have a p tag with link dot label, and then this link will have a class name of text black. In hover the text will be rows 500. Text color will be black, but font will be semi bold. Then we have transition of all and duration 200 milliseconds. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our nav links with hover effect. Next we need this button. So for the button, what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for Tailwind button animation, and then we have this links davedojo.com. So we're going to use their button. They have some awesome button built in for us. We just need to copy the code from here. So I encourage you to use their button. So for this we are going to use this button, so this one. So I'm going to copy their code and then go to our project. So nav links we have buttons. So here we have a div with class name flex. Items will be center. SpaceX will be 4. Here we are going to add our create account button, as well as we are going to add our burger menu button. So here first copy our button code that we copy from that website, and now here we have to change some of these. So make this class name, class name, class name, class name, then this one be class name, and then this one will be stroke line cap, then stroke width. So that's it, and the text will be create account. Now if I hit save, and now you can see we have this beautiful button ready to use. That's awesome. Next we need the burger menu. So after this we have our burger menu. So here we have a icon. So we're going to use the icon which is high burst 3 bottom left, bottom right, sorry. So we're going to use this icon here, and we're going to give this a class name of width 8, height will be 8, cursor pointer, text will be black. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our menu button, but in the deployed version it not showing in the large devices. So it will be hidden and it will be visible in the small devices. So for that reason we are going to use in large screen, this one will be hidden. Sorry, in large screen this one will be hidden. Now if I hit save, and you can see it's now hidden. So now if I inspect and if I go to a mobile devices, you can see we have these icons, the create account and this burger menu. And here we have this text mobile nav and home. This one will be replaced with the actual component when we build this. So now you can see our nav links is hidden and our burger menu is visible. So this is our navbar for the desktop version. Now we are going to build the navigation bar, or you can say the sidebar, for our mobile view. So I'm going to inspect and select a mobile devices. Now let's go to the mobile nav.tsx, and here the first div have a class name of fixed. So the first div doesn't have any class name, and inside this div we first have a overlay, a dark overlay. Inside this we have a overlay. So here we have a div with class name of fixed. So this one will be fixed. Inset will be 0. We're going to transform because in future we're going to use their transform property. We're also going to use transition because we are going to animate the sidebar and the overlay. The duration will be 500 millisecond. Z index will be 1002. Background will be black. Opacity will be 70. And width will be full. Height will be screen. Now if I hit save, and here you can see we have a dark overlay. So in the deployed version, if I inspect and if I click it, you can see the dark overlay comes and then the actual sidebar. So this is the overlay. Next, after this div, we have our nav link. So here we have a div with class name of text wide. This one will be fixed. Justify will be center. This one will be flex. Flex will be in the column direction. Height will be full. We're going to use transform. Transition will be all because we are also going to animate this. Then the duration will be 500 millisecond, and we are going to add a delay of 300 milliseconds. Now let me show you the deployed version here, and you can see first the overlay comes and then after some delay the actual sidebar come to the screen. So that's why we're using a delay, so that first the overlay come to the screen and then the nav links sidebar. Then we have width of 80%, and small and large screen width will be 60%. Background will be blue 900. Space y will be 6, and set index will be 1050. Now I'm going to hit save, and then inside this we have our links. So I'm going to use nav links from our constant, and then we're going to map through it. Now you can see how it is helpful to create a constant, and by doing this we can reuse it in our mobile nav as well as in our navbar. So we're going to map through it. We'll get an individual link, Then we are going to return a link which is coming from our next link, and here we are going to pass the key will be link dot id. Then we are going to pass the href which will be link dot url, and inside this we have a p tag with our label, so link dot label, and this p tag will have a class name of text white, width will be fit, text will be 20 pixel, margin left will be 12, border bottom will be 1.5 pixel, padding bottom will be 1, border will be white, and smaller devices text will be 30 pixel. Now if I hit save and go to our project, there you can see we have our nav link and the sidebar, which looks awesome. So you can see it in the iPad devices, it also looks great. Now we need the cross icon to close the navbar, just like this one. So after the link, so after this finishes, we have a icon which is CG close. So let's add a comment here, close icon, and this icon will have a class name of absolute, top will be 0.7 RAM, right will be 1.4 RAM, in smaller devices width will be 8, in smaller devices height will be 8, otherwise width will be 6, height will be 6. Now if I hit save, so here you can see we have our cross icon just like this one. So now we have to implement the functionality to close and open the navbar. So for this I am going to open my responsive navbar, and here we need to use the hooks. And one thing is, in Next.js every component is a server component, and in server component you cannot use hooks. To use hooks you need to convert your component into a client component. So let me show you. So if I create a const show nav and set show nav, and if I use state, and initially this one will be false, and now if I hit save and if I go to our project, you can see it shows an error saying you are importing a component that needs use state. This React hooks only works in a client component. To fix this, the file with the use client directive, so we need to convert this into a client component, and converting it into a client component is very easy. We just need to use client. Now if I hit save and now if I go to our project, you can see the error is gone. Next here we are going to create two functions. So one is open nav handler, which is an arrow function that set our show nav to true. Then we have another one which is close nav handler. This one is set our show nav to false. So that's it. Now we have to pass this function and this show nav to our nav and mobile nav. And for this, the mobile nav, we are going to pass open nav as a props, and this one will be open nav handler. And in mobile nav, we are going to pass the show nav which is our show nav, and then we are going to pass the close nav, which is close nav handler. Now we have to receive this prop and give them the proper type. So let's go to the Navbar first. So here what we are receiving, so we're going to the type props, and you can name it anything. You can name it nav props, you can name it nav. So I am just use the props, and here we are receiving open nav as a nav, which is a function that returns void. Now we are going to pass this here in our component, and we are going to import the open nav. Now when we click on the burger menu, so on click we are going to run our open nav. Now go to the mobile nav, and here, so here we are also receiving some props, so type props, and here we are receiving a show nav, which is a type of boolean, so boolean, and then we are receiving a close nav, which is a function that returns void. If I save, and now let's pass this here, and let's import the close nav and show nav. And when we click on the close icon, so on click we are going to run our close nav. That's it. And now based on this show nav property, we are going to show our sidebar or hide our sidebar. So for that reason I am going to create a constant variable here, const nav open, and we are going to check if the show nav property is true, then we are going to translate x 0. That means we are going to show the sidebar. Otherwise we are going to use translate x of minus 100%. That means we are going to hide our sidebar. Now we have to use this in our overlay as well as our enabling step, and this is a constant, so use the dynamic constant. Here we need to use the template literal, so I am going to use third bracket here and a template literal syntax, and here we are going to use our nav open. We're going to do the same for this div also, the nav links div. So we're going to use the template literal format, and here we are also going to use our nav open. So that's it. Now if I hit save and go to our project, and if I click here, you can see the navbar opens with smooth animation, which is awesome, and if I click here it closes with smooth animation. So our responsive navbar works properly. So in the desktop you can see we have the nav links, and in mobile we have this nav menu with sidebar. That looks great. Then we have another functionality left, which is in the deployed version. If you can see, if I start scrolling, the navbar have a shadow and a background color. Now we are going to build this. So for this, let's go to the nav.tss, and here we are going to use state. So for that reason, I'm going to convert this into a client component, and here we are going to create a state variable, which is navbg, comma set navbg, and we're going to use state, and initially this one will be false. Then we're going to use effect hooks here, add a dependency array, and inside this we are going to create a function called handler. This one will be an arrow function, and inside this we are going to check if window dot scroll y. So if we scroll more than 90 pixel, then we are going to set our navbg to true. Then we are going to show the background and the shadow. But if the window dot scroll y is less than 90 pixel, then we are going to set our navbg to false. Now here we are going to use the dynamic syntax. So let's convert this into a template literal format, and here we are going to check. So if the navbg is true, then we are going to make this bg white, and also the shadow will be there. Otherwise we are just stick with the fixed position. Now if I hit save, and here we have to add this. So we forget to add in the window dot add event listener. So window event listener, and specifically in the scroll event listener, we are going to run our handler. Now it's a good practice to clean up function to remove the event listener in the use effect. So we are going to use return, and then I'm going to copy this, paste it here, and instead of add event listener we are going to use remove event listener. Now if I hit save, and let's add some height so that we have the scroll effect. So in the home we are going to add a height of 10,000 pixels. Now if I hit save, and if I go to our project, and now if I start scrolling, so nothing happening. So if I reload the page, and now you can see if I start scrolling, and after some distance it have the shadow and the background, which is awesome. Now we can remove the height from here and hit save. Now let's check everything one again. So this is our desktop navigation with nav links and this button. So if I inspect, and in mobile we have this burger menu. If I click here, a sidebar will open, and if I click again in the cross icon, it will close with smooth animation. So everything works perfectly, and our navbar is completed. Now we are going to build the hero section. So if I show you the hero section, here you can see we have a background image, and then a image here, and some text content. So now we are going to build this section. So to build this, I am going to create a new folder inside my home folder, and I'm going to name it hero. And inside this I'm going to create a file called hero.tsx. Then I'm going to use RAFC to create the component boilerplate, and then I'm going to add this inside my home. So here we're going to add our hero. Now if I hit save and go to our project, here you can see the text is now hero. Then let's go to the hero component, and the first div have a class name of relative. Width will be full, height will be 110 VH, and in small devices and large screen the height will be screen. And we have a background image, so we are going to use bg url, and then we are going to put our url here. So our url will be slash images slash bg.png. Now if I hit save, and go to our project. Here you can see we have our background. Now we are going to add some of the background properties also here, and we are going to use bg cover. Then we are going to add bg center, not current, bg center. Now if I hit save and go to our project, now you can see our background looks amazing. Then we have flex, items will be center and flex will be in the column direction. Now if I hit save, and now everything looks fine. So you can see our hero is at the top. So this one will be justify center, not item center. So remove this and use justify center. And now if I hit save, now you can see our text is in the middle. Next, inside this div, we have another div with class name of width will be 90%, in medium screen width will be 80%, mx will be auto, items will be center, we're going to use grid, then we have grid calls of 1 for small devices, and in extra large grid calls will be true and cap will be 10. Now if I hit save, and what we are going to do is we are going to divide this in two parts. So we are going to divide this space in two parts. That's why we are using grid to separate this. So this is the one grid item, this is another grid item. Now inside this div we have another div. So this one is our text content, and then we have our image content. So this div is for the image content. Now inside this div we first have a p tag with the text of make the smartest investment. This p tag have a class name of text small. In smaller devices text will be base, in medium screen text will be excel, font will be bold, and text color will be blue 950. Now if I hit save, so here you can see we have our text make the smartest investment. So just like this one. Next we have this heading. So I'm going to copy this. So copy the whole thing, and then after the P we have a H1 for this text, but this text depth have different color. That's why we are place it inside a span. That's it. Now this H1 have a class name of text to Excel. In medium screen text will be 3 Excel, in large screen text will be 4 Excel, margin top will be 6, margin bottom will be 6, font will be bold, text will be blue 950, leading will be 2.5 gram, and in medium and large screen leading will be 3.5 gram. Now if I hit save, and then this pen have a class name of text rows 700. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our beautiful heading. So just like this one, here you can see we have the text depth with different color, just like this one. Next we have some random text. So after this h1 we have a p tag, and I'm going to generate some random text using lorem ipsum. So I'm going to generate 20 random word. Now if I hit enter, you can see it generated our random text. If you're wondering how you can generate these types of random text, you need to install another extension, and the extension is this one. So lorem ipsum. So this generate you the random text, and this is very helpful when you're building a website. You can use it as a dummy content. So this p tag have a class name of text small, text extra small. In small and large screen, text will be small. In medium screen, text will be base. Font will be medium, and text color will be gray 700. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our random text. So let's add this text here. So I'm going to paste it here. Now if I hit save, now it looks good, just like this one. Next we have this section, rating section. So after this p tag, let's add some comment here, ratings. And here we have a div with class name of flex. In smaller devices, flex will be in the column direction. No flex will be in the row. Otherwise, flex will be in column direction for smaller devices. In smaller devices, items will be center, and smaller devices and larger screen space x will be 10, and margin top will be 6. Now inside this div, we have another div with class name of flex. Items will be center. Then we have space x of 4. Then inside this div, we have an image. We're going to use next image. So image component from our next image, and here the source will be slash images slash google.png. Alt will be Google, and then we have width of 40, height of 40. Now if I hit save and if I go to our project, here you can see we have our Google icon just like this one. So after this image, we have another div, and inside this div we have another div with class name of flex. Items will be center, space x will be 2. Then inside this div we have a h1 with 4.5 the rating, and this h1 have a class name of text large. In small and large screen, text will be XL. In medium and large screen, text will be 2XL, and text will be gray 700. Font will be bold. So after this h1, we have another div with class name of flex, and items will be center, and inside this div we have a FS star icon from React Icons, and this icon have a class name of, so class name with 4, height will be 4, and text will be yellow 500, and we have 5 of them. The last one is a half star, so we are going to use BS star half. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have like this one, the rating and the star, just like this one. Next we have this text. So let's copy the text from here, and then after this div we have a p tag with the text, and this text will have a class name of text grade 700. Text will be small, and smaller devices text will be big. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so you can see it looks amazing. So just like this one. Next we have to build this, and this is similar to this one, so I'm going to copy the first one. So we are going to copy this div and paste it underneath, and here we are going to change the rating 4.7, and then sorry, we have to copy the full thing including the image. So I'm going to copy everything from here, and I'm going to paste it underneath, and the next image will be linkedin.png, and the alt will be LinkedIn. Let's add the rating of 4.7 and base to rate it on LinkedIn. Now if I hit save, and we don't have our LinkedIn image, here we have a typing mistake, so this one will be LinkedIn. Now if I hit save, now you can see now it looks very nice, just like this one. Amazing. Next we have this two button. So for the button we are going to use our Tailwind button animation, and then go to there, this Dev Dojo website for the ready-made button. So we are going to use this one now. So I'm going to copy the button styling. Now let's go to our project. Now here we are going to define a div with class name of margin top of 8, flex in the column direction, and small and large screen flex will be in the row direction, width will be feet, smaller devices items will be center, space y will be 4, and in small and large screen space y will be 0, and smaller and large screen space x will be 4. Now if I hit save, and here inside this we are going to paste our first button styling. Now here we have to change some of the thing here, so make the class to class name. So then here this one will be fill role, fill opacity, because in JSX we use the camel case. So class name, then this one will be fill role, fill opacity, and then class name, and the text will be get free trial. And we are going to change the color here, background here. So bg rows. So first we are going to use bg rows 600, and in hover we are going to add bg rows 800. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our get free trial, which looks amazing. Now you can see this button looks amazing. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the same button again. So I'm going to copy everything and paste it here, and the text will be, so for the second button we have create account. So this one will be create account, and then we are going to change the background here. So here we are going to use bg green 400, and in hover we are going to use bg green 600. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our button, so just like this one, and we have the hover effect. Now you can see this looks amazing, just like this one. Next we are going to add these images. So for this, so in the image component, in the div, we are going to add some class name here. So we are going to add class name of image will be auto, this one will be hidden, and in extra large where this will be block. So we are going to show the image in large screen, otherwise we are going to hide the image. And then inside this we are going to use the image component here, coming from our next image, and here we are going to pass the source. The source will be slash images slash hero.jpg, and for the alt tag we are going to use image, and then we are going to add the width of 900 and height of 900. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our image, so just like this one. So everything looks amazing. Now let's check if this is mobile responsive or not. So if I inspect and if I select a mobile device, you can see everything fit perfectly and looks amazing. Here we have the burger menu for the sidebar, and you can see the everything fit perfectly with our viewport. So if I inspect here, so you can see everything fit perfectly, but here we have some issue. So here we have a larger gap. So let's go to our project, let's see. So here in the Instagram section, the first tip, we have a margin top of 6. Now if I hit save, now if I go to our project, now you can see it looks amazing, so just like this one, and everything fit perfectly in our hero section. So this is our desktop version where it also looks amazing. So now here we have some top here, so you have to fix this. So what we are going to do is, in the smaller devices margin top will be 0. Now if I hit save, now you can see now it looks good, and now in the mobile devices it also fit perfectly. So our hero section is completed. Next we are going to build the about us section. So if I show you the about us section, here you can see we have an image and some text content. Now we are going to build this section. So to build this, I'm going to create a new folder inside my home folder, and I'm going to name it about, and inside this I'm going to create a file called about.tsx, and I'm going to use rfc to create the component boilerplate, and then I'm going to hit save, and then I'm going to add this inside my home. So after the hero section we will have our about section. So now if I go to our project, here you can see we have our text about. Now let's go to the about.tsx, and the first div have a class name of padding top of 16, padding bottom of 16. Then inside this div we have another div with class name of width will be 80%, mx will be auto, we are going to use grid. So if I show you in the deployed version, so we are again making it 80% of the width, and then we are using the grid to divide this in two parts. So grid calls will be 1, in a large screen grid calls will be 2, then gap will be 10, then items will be center. So now if I hit save, so first we have the image content. So this div is for the image content, and then we have the text content. So this div is for the text content. Now in the image content div, inside this div we have a image, and we are going to use next image, and here the source will be slash images slash about.png. The alt will be about, then we have width of 600, height will be 600. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our image, which is amazing. Next we have this text content. So in the text content, inside this div we have h1 with the text about us, and this h1 will have the class name of border 2, px will be 4, width will be feet, rounded lg, then bg will be gray 100, py will be 1, text color will be hash f6 89 67. Then we have font of bold. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have about us. Now if I show you the deployed version, here you can see we have this about us here. We also have these types of design here in the service section, then in the team section. So what we are going to do is we are going to create a component, separate component for this one, so that we can reuse it. So in the helper, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a file, let's say box text .tsx, and I'm going to use rfc to create the component boilerplate. And here, so in the about, so let's copy this one and paste it here, and we are going to receive the children here. So first here I'm going to use a type props. The props type is children, which is type of react dot react node, and here I'm going to pass the props, and I'm going to import the children, and here I'm going to put the children. Now let's go to the about section, and here we're going to use our box text, and the text will be about us. Now if I hit save and if I go to our project, here you can see we have the theme styling. Next what we have is this heading. So I'm going to copy this heading text, and then so after this box text we have a h1 with our text, and this h1 have a class name of text to excel, in smaller devices text 3 excel, font will be bold, text will be gray 900, margin top will be 3, leading will be 2.5 rem. In smaller devices, leading will be 3 rem. If I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our heading, so just like this one. Now let's copy this random text from here. You can use the logarithm generator. So I'm going to copy this from the deployed one, and after the h1 we have a p with this random text, and the p will have a class name of margin top of 3, leading will be relaxed, then we have text small. In smaller devices, text will be base, then we have text gray 700. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our description text just like this one. Next we have this learn more button. So after the p tag we have a button, and the text will be learn more, and in the deployed version you can see here we have a arrow. So for the arrow we are going to use a HTML code, which is hash 8594. This is the code for arrow, and then this button have a class name of margin top of 5, text will be hash f68967, then font bold, padding bottom will be 1, border bottom will be 2, and border color will be hash f68967. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our learn more button, which looks amazing. Next we have this section. So after the button we have another div with class name of margin top of 8, border left will be 2, then border color will be gray 600, not 600, border gray 200. Now if I hit save, so nothing to show because we don't have any content here. Now inside this div we have another div with class name of margin left 6, then inside this div we have a p with this text. So I'm going to copy this and paste it here. So it's complaining about the code, so we are going to quick fix with this code, HTML code. That's it. Now this p have a class name of text gray 700, then we have font of medium. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have this text. Next what we have is a profile. So a profile image, the name and the job or the position. So after the p we have another div, so another div with class name of flex, items will be center, SpaceX will be 6, and margin top will be 6. And inside this div we have an image which is coming from our next image, and here we have the source. The source will be slash images slash u1.jpg. The alt will be user, the width will be 40, height will be 40, and we have class name of rounded full. So now if I hit save, and after the image we have another div, and inside this div we first have a p tag with the name. So let's use Jessica Doe, and then we have another p tag with the position, so web developer and tech dev. Now this p tag have a class name of font medium, and this p tag have a class name of text gray 700, and text will be small. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see this looks very nice, so just like this one, and everything looks amazing. So let's check the responsiveness. So if I inspect and select a mobile devices, you can see in mobile devices it fit perfectly with the viewport height. So if I inspect the deployed one, you can see it looks exactly like this one. So everything fit perfectly. And if I show you in the iPad devices, in iPad mini, you can see in iPad it also looks very nice. So our about us section is completed. Now we are going to build the feature section. So if I show you the feature section, here you can see we have some heading, and then we have some card here and an image. So now we are going to build this section. So for this I'm going to create a new folder inside my home folder, and I'm going to name it feature, and inside this I'm going to create a file called feature.tsx, and I'm going to use RAFC to create the component boilerplate, and then I'm going to add this in my home. So here I'm going to add our feature. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have the text feature. Now let's go to the feature.tsx. The first div have a class name of padding top of 16, padding bottom of 16, and bg will be gray 100. Now if I hit save, and here you can see we have a different background with some padding. Now inside this div we have another div, and here we have a h1 with our heading, which is key features of the product, and this h1 will have a class name of text center, text to excel, text blue 950, font bold. Now if I hit save, and here you can see we have our text key feature of the product, just like this one. Next we have this heading, subheading, so I'm going to copy this, and then after this h1 we'll have a p tag with this subheading, and this p tag will have a class name of margin top of 3, text will be center, then we have font medium, text will be gray 700, width will be 90%, mx will be auto, and smaller devices width will be 70%, and in medium screen width will be 50%. Now if I hit save, and now here you can see we have our subheading just like this one. Next what we are going to do is we are going to use 80% of our width here and then we are going to divide this whole in two parts. We are going to use grid. So one part is for the image, and the other part we are going to divide it into two parts, so that we have this two card. So we're going to divide this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we are using the grid here as well as in the total here. So let's code it so that you can understand better. And after this div, we have the main grid. So here we have a div with class name of width will be 80%, mx will be auto, margin top will be 16. We're going to use grid. Grid calls will be 1 for smaller devices, and in extra large, grid calls will be 2. Then we have gap of 10. Items will be center. And now if I hit save, and here we have the inner grid. So this div is for the inner grid with the feature box, and then we have the image. So image content, and this div have a class name of grid. Grid calls will be 1, and in medium screen grid calls will be 2, gap will be 10, items will be center. And here we have the first box. So we are going to use a div here, and this div have a class name of bg white. Padding will be 4 and rounded lg. And inside this div we have another div. If I show you the deployed one, so we are using a flex here, one for this icons and one for this heading. So let's go to our code. So this div have a class name of flex, item center, and SpaceX 3. And then inside this div we have the icon. So here we have a div with class name of width will be 12, height will be 12, rounded will be 3xl. This one will be flex, items will be center, justify center, flex will be in the column direction, bg will be pink 500, bg opacity will be 20. And then inside this div we are going to add an icon. So first one is md outline touch app, outline touch app. So this one, and this icon will have a class name of width 6, height 6, text will be orange 400. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our circle with our icons. Then we have the heading. So here we have a h1 with the text app integration. So app integration, and this h1 will have a class name of, so class name of text will be lg large, font will be bold, and then we have text gray of 700. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our heading app integration, just like this one. Next we have this text, so I'm going to copy this, and then after the h1 we have description, And here we have a p tag with our description, and this p tag will have a class name of margin top will be 3, margin bottom will be 3, text will be gray 700. Now leading will be relaxed. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here we do some mistakes, so this description will be outside of this div. So now if I hit save, now it looks good, amazing. Next we have 3 more, so I'm going to copy this again because they have the same styling. So you can use a separate component for that if you want. For this one I'm going to copy it. So let's copy this from here and paste it again. So this one will be the second box, and here we need to change some of the things. First, the icon. The second one will have a icon of go work flow, and the text will be, the heading will be workflow builder. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see now we have 2 of the card. Then we need 2 more, so let's copy it again. So I'm going to copy this and paste it 2 more time. Then this is the second one, this is the third box, and in the third box we have different icons. So for this one we have a icon of LU pen, and these all are coming from our React icons, and the heading will be, so here the heading will be problem solution. And for the fourth one, the icon will be MD access alarm, and the heading will be lifetime access. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have 4 cards, which looks amazing. So just like this one. Next we need the image, so let's go to our image content. So here we have a div, and inside this div we are going to use the image component from next image, and here we're going to use our source. The source will be slash image slash f1 dot png. The alt will be feature, then the width will be 700 and height will be 700. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so you can see this is our image and it looks exactly like this one. Now let's check the responsiveness of this section. So if I inspect and if I select the mobile first, so here you can see we have the heading, then we have this feature, and then the image. So you can see everything fit perfectly and it looks amazing. Let's check it in the iPad devices, and in iPad it also fit perfectly. So our feature section is completed. Next we are going to build the services section. So if I show you the services section, here you can see we have some heading and the services. So to build it, I'm going to create a new folder inside my home folder, and I'm going to name it services, and inside this I'm going to create a file called services.tsx, and I'm going to use RAFC to create the component boilerplate, and then I'm going to add this inside my home. So after the feature we are going to have our services. Now if I hit save and go to our project, here you can see we have our text services. Now let's go to the services.tsx file, and here for the first div we have a class name of padding top of 16, padding bottom of 16. Then inside this div we have, so let's see what we have this our services, and if you remember we already create a separate component for this, so we're going to use this. So here we will have the box text and we have the our services. Now we are going to import our box text here, and now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our services. Now we have a mistake here. So first we have a div, so inside this div we have another div with class name of with 80% mx will be auto. Now inside this div we have our box text, so I'm going to cut it here and paste it inside this div. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so now you can see here we have our services, which looks amazing. Next we have h1, so next we have a heading, so h1 with the text of our services made for you. Now if I hit save, and here this h1 will have a class name of margin top will be 4, text will be 2xl, in medium screen text will be 3xl, font will be bold, then we have text gray 800. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our heading, so just like this one. Next we have this text, I'm going to copy this, and we also have a question mark here. So after this h1 we have our description, so here we have a p tag with our random text. You can use the lorem ipsum if you want, and this one will have a class name of margin top will be 4, width will be full, in smaller devices width will be 80%, in medium screen width will be 70%, and then we have in large screen width will be 60%, and extra large width will be 50%, and text will be gray 600. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our description, so just like this one. Next what we are going to do is we are going to use our grid system, and we are going to divide the whole page in 3 grid columns. So this is the 1, this is the 2, and this is the 3. So we are going to create 3 separate columns for the grid. So after the P we have our grid, and here we have a div with class name of we are going to use grid calls will be 1 for small devices, in medium screen grid calls will be 2, and in extra large grid calls will be 3, gap will be 8, items will be center, and gap in the y direction will be 12, and margin top will be 16. Now inside this div we have the first service, so here we have a div with class name of flex, items will be center, and SpaceX will be 5. And then inside this div we have another div with class name of width 14, height 14, rounded MD, flex, items will be center, justify will be center, flex will be in the column direction, BG will be pink 500, BG opacity will be 20. And then inside this div we'll have an icon which is FA rocket icon from React icon, and this one will have a class name of width 6, height 6, and text orange 400. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our rocket icons. So just like this one. Next we have this startup and this random text. So this one is the icon, and after the icon we have our text content. So here we have a div, and inside this div we have a p tag with the text startup, and then we have another p tag with some random text. So I'm going to copy the text from here. So I'm going to Control C and paste it here. And the first p tag have a class name of text lg, font will be bold, text will be gray 700, and for the second p tag we have a class name of text small, text gray 600. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see it looks exactly like this one. Amazing. Now we have more of it, so we are just copy this design and change the content. So what we are going to do is, so this is the first service, so I'm going to copy this and paste it 7 times. I think not the 7 times, 5 times. So now if you want you can create a separate component for this, but I'm going to copy it here. Then this is the second service. In the second service the icon will be briefcase. So fa briefcase, and the heading will be business. And this is the third services, and in the third one the icon will be fa shopping cart, and the heading will be e-commerce. Now this is the fourth services. In the fourth one we have the icon of md outline design services. Now if I hit save, and here the text will be digital design. Then this is our fifth one, and the fifth one the icon will be io color palette outline, and the heading will be unlimited colors. And we have another one, so I'm going to copy it one more time. And this is the sixth service, and here the icon will be fa chess, and the text will be strategy solution. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our 6 services, so just like this one, and it looks amazing. Now let's check if this is mobile responsive. So if I inspect, and select the mobile devices. So you can see in mobile devices it fit perfectly. Now let's check in the iPad devices. In iPad it also fit perfectly. So our services section is completed. Next we are going to build the client review section. So if I show you the client review section, here you can see we have some client review card. So to build this, I'm going to create a new folder inside my home folder, and I'm going to name it client review. And inside this I'm going to create a client review.tsx, and I'm going to use RFC to create the component boilerplate, and then I'm going to add this in my home. So after the services we are going to have our client review. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our client review text. Now let's go to the client review component, and here for the first div we have a class name of padding top of 16, padding bottom of 16, bg gray will be 100. Then inside this div we have h1 with the text of what our happy client says, and this h1 will have a class name of text center, text to excel, text blue 950, and font bold. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our heading, so just like this one. Now I'm going to copy this subheading, so let's add a comment here, heading, then we have subheading. Here we have a p tag with our subheading, and this p tag will have a class name of margin top of 3, text center, font will be medium, then we have text gray of 700, width will be 90%, so width will be 90%, mx will be auto, and smaller devices width will be 70%, in medium screen width will be 50%. And now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our subheading. Next we have this card. So here we are also going to use the grid system, and we are going to divide it into two parts. So let's go to the code. So after the p we have our grid, and here we have a div with class name of grid. Grid calls will be 1. In large screen grid calls will be 2. Gap will be 4. Items will be center. In margin top will be 16. Width will be 80%. Mx will be auto. And then inside this div we have another div, and here we are going to create a reusable component for this card. So we are going to create a reusable component for this card only, and then we are going to change the image, the name here. So that's how we are going to reuse this component. So let's create a client review card.tsx, and I'm going to use RFC to create the component boilerplate, and then I'm going to add it here. So client review card, and here we are going to pass some props. So for the first one we are going to pass the props of image, and image will be slash images slash u1.jpg. Then we are going to pass the name. So for the first one we are going to pass Jessica Joe, and then we're going to pass the rating. So this one will be 4.7. Now we have 3 more cards. I'm going to copy this 3 more time. And the second one, we're going to change the props. Second one will be u2.jpg, and this one will be John Doe, and let's say the rating will be 4.5. Then we have u3, and let's say this one will be Sasuke Uchiha, and the rating will be 4.3. Let's say this one is u4, and let's rating will be 4.9. And let's use Boruto Uzumaki. Now if I hit save, now what we need to do is we need to accept these props in the client review card and give them the proper type definition. So I'm going to open the client review card, and here we're going to use type props, and here we're receiving an image of string, name of string, and a rating of string. Now we're going to pass this here, and then we're going to import the image, the name, and rating. Now here the first div have a class name of bg will be white, shadow will be medium, padding will be 8, the smaller devices this one will be flex, items center, space y4, then in smaller devices space y0, and space x will be 6, and rounded will be large. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our box with shadow. Then inside this, first we have image. So here we have a div with a class name. So the div doesn't have any class name. Inside this div we have an image which is coming from next image, and here we have the source. The source will be the image that we receive as a props. The alt will be the name that we receive. Then we have a width of 350, height of 350, and then class name of rounded large. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our image, but this is very big. Let's continue building the project. We are going to check it later. So after this div, we have another div, and here we have h1 with name. So this h1 will have a class name of text large, font will be bold, and text blue 950. After the h1 we have a div with class name of flex, items will be center, and space x will be 3, and inside this we have the star icon. So we are going to use fa star, and this one will have a class name of width 4, height 4, text yellow 600. Now we have 4 of these, and another one is the half star. So we are going to use bs star half. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our name and the star, but that doesn't look good. So here let's see what we have done. So if I go to the deployed one, here we have the name first, then we have this rating, and then the star. So here inside this we have a p tag with the rating, and then we have a div with class name of flex and item center, and inside this div we have our star icon. So I'm going to cut it here and paste it here. Now if I hit save and go to our project, now here it looks good. Now the p tag have a class name of text to excel, font will be bold, and text will be orange 500. Now if I hit save and let's go to our project, so here you can see we have our name and the rating, so just like this one, but the image doesn't look good. Now for the image we are going to change it to 150 for width and 150 for the height. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so now you can see it looks good just like this one. Now we're going to copy this description from here and let's go to our project, and after this div, so after this div we have a p tag with this random text, and this one will have a class name of margin top will be 2, text will be base, text will be gray 700, and font will be medium. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so now you can see now it's shrink to small. So let's use the 350 here, 350. Now if I save, now it fit perfectly. Now it looks good just like this one. Now let's check the responsiveness. So if I inspect and if I select a mobile devices, so you can see in mobile devices it fit nicely, and in the iPad it also fit perfectly. So our client review section is completed. Now we are going to build that team section. So if I show you the team section, here you can see we have some text and our team member information. So to build this, I'm going to get a new folder inside my home folder, and I'm going to name this team, and inside this I'm going to create a file called team.tsx, and then I'm going to use RAFC to create the component boilerplate, and then I'm going to add this inside our home. So after the client review, we're going to have our team. Now if I hit save and go to our project, here you can see we have our text team. Now let's go to the team.tsx, and for the first div we have a class name of padding top will be 16, padding bottom will be 16, and hit save. Then inside this div we will have another div with class name of width will be 80%. Then we have mx auto, we have grid items, grid will be called 1, and in large screen grid will be called 5, and then gap will be 10, items will be center, and then inside this we first have our text content, and this is the text content div, and then we have the images. So this is the images content. Now for the text content div, we have a class name, and in large screen we have a call span of 2. Don't worry, I will explain this to you. And then for the images, we have a class name of, in the large screen we have call span of 5, not 5, 3, call span 3. Now if I hit save, now let's go to our deployed one and let's explain what we do here. So we use 80% of our width, so this is the 80%, and then we divide this into 5 parts. So we divide this into 5 parts and we give 3 parts to our images and 2 parts to our text. So that's why we have call span 2 for our text content and call span 3 for our images. I hope you understand. Now let's go to our project. So first, in the text content, so inside this we have a h1 with the, so let's see what we have here. So we have our team and we already have a separate component for this one, so we are going to reuse this. So here we have our box text, and it's not a self-closing, so we have to provide, so box text, and here the text will be our team. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our text, our team. Next we have this heading, so I'm going to copy the heading from here, and after the text box we have a h1 with the heading, then we have a p tag with the description. I am going to copy this also, and then I'm going to paste it here, and let's add a comment here. So this is the heading and this is the description, so description, and this h1 will have a class name of margin top will be 4, text will be excel, in medium screen text will be 2XL, font will be bold, then we have text gray of 800. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our heading, so just like this one. So next we have the p tag, so the p tag will have a class name of margin top 4, text will be gray 700. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our description, which looks amazing. Next what we have is this button, so join our team. So for this button we are going to use our Tailwind CSS buttons from Dev Dojo, and for this one we are going to use this button. So I'm going to copy the styling, and then I'm going to add a div here, and the div will have a class name of margin top of 8. So this is the button, and inside this I'm going to paste the button, and here this one will be class name, and class name, and here we don't need the double relative, so I'm going to remove one, and I'm going to add a margin top of 6. So here we do not need the margin top. I'm going to hit save, and this one will be join our team. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our beautiful button, so join our team, with this beautiful hover effect, so just like this one. Next we have these two images. Now let's go to our image content here, and here we have other class name. So in smaller devices, this one will be flex, items will be center, not baseline, center, space y will be 4, In smaller devices, space y will be 0, and smaller devices space x will be 4, and large screen we have call span 3. That's it. Now if I hit save, now inside this div we have another div with class name of relative. Then we have overflow hidden, and inside this div we have a image which is coming from our next image, where we're going to use the next image component. And here the source will be slash images slash t1.jpg. The alt will be team. Then we have width of 300, height of 300, and the class name will be rounded lg. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our image, so just like this one. Next we have this information. So after the image we have a div with class name of absolute, width will be full, height will be 5 gram, bottom will be 0, padding will be 4, busy will be rows 500, rounded lg. Now inside this div we have a p tag with the name, and then we have another p tag with the text of position like the founder. So this a p tag will have a class name of text lg. Then we have text white, and font will be bold. And for the second p tag we have a class name of text gray 200. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have this beautiful information box. Then we have the name and the position. Next we have another image with the same designing, so I'm going to copy this div from here and paste it underneath. I'm going to copy this and paste it underneath, and then I'm going to change the information. So this one will be T2, and then the name will be Jessica Doe, and the position will be co-founder. Now if I hit save and go to our project, and here you can see we have our another team member, but here the background color is different, so I'm going to change the background color. So here this one will be BG orange 500. So BG orange 500. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so you can see it looks amazing. Now let's check the responsiveness. If I inspect and select a mobile devices, so here you can see in mobile devices it fit perfectly, and in the iPad devices it also fit perfectly. So our team section is completed. Next we are going to build the pricing section. So if I show you the pricing section, here you can see we have this beautiful pricing card section. So to build this, I'm going to create a new folder inside my home folder, and I'm going to name this pricing, and inside this I'm going to create a file called pricing.tsx, and I'm going to use RAFC to create the component boilerplate, and then I'm going to add this inside my home component. After the team we're going to add our pricing section. So pricing. Now if I go to our project, so here you can see we have the text pricing. Now let's go to the pricing.tsx. The first div have a class name of padding top of 16, padding bottom of 16, bg will be gray 100. And now if I hit save, and then inside this we have a h1 and a p tag. So if I go to our deployed one, and you can see we have a heading. So I'm going to copy this one first and paste it here, and then we have this subheading. So I'm going to copy this and paste it here. So here it's complaining, it's a ESLint error. So we're going to use quick fix and replace the code with this code, HTML code. Now for the h1 we have a class name of text center. Text will be to excel. Text blue 500, not 500, 950. Then we have font bold. Then for the p we have a class name of margin top will be 3. Text will be center. Font will be medium. Text will be gray 700. Width will be 90%. In smaller devices, width will be 70%. And in medium screen, width will be 50%. Then we have MF Auto. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our heading and subheading, which looks amazing. Next we are going to use the grid system. Here we are going to use the 80%, and we are going to divide this in 3 parts using the grid system. So 1, 2, 3, and then we are going to create a separate component for this one. This the component 1, this is component 2, this is component 3, and we are going to reuse this component, and we are going to change this value like 12 month and the pricing. So let's go to our code, and after the p tag we have a div with class name of width will be 80%, mx will be auto, margin top will be 14. We're going to use grid cost will be 1. Then in medium screen, grid cost will be 2. In a larger screen, grid cost will be 3. Gap will be 10. Items will be center. And if I hit save, and then inside this div we have another div, and here we are going to create a reusable component which is price card. So let's build this component here. So we're going to create a price card dot tsx, and I'm going to use rfc to create the component boilerplate, and then I'm going to add it here. So here we will have the price card, and in the price card we are going to pass some props. So the first one is the time. We are going to, for the first one we are going to pass 3 months, and then we are going to pass the price. So price will be 19.99, and we have 3. So I'm going to copy it 2 more time, and the second one will be 12 month, and the price will be, so the first one is 39.99, second one is 19.99, and third one is 9.99, and this one will be lifetime. So lifetime. Now if I hit save, now we have to receive this props in our price card component. So I'm going to open my price card, and here we're receiving type props, and we're receiving the time which is type of string, and we are receiving a price which is type of string. Now we are going to pass this here as a props, and we are going to importing the price and time. Now for the first div we have a class name of bg will be wide, rounded will be large, padding will be 8. This one will be a relative positioning. Border top will be 4. Border color will be rose 300. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have this card with this border at the top, so just like this one. So after this, here we have a h1 with our time, and then the text membership. And this h1 will have a class name of text sky 500, and then text will be excel and font bold. If I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our text, and here you can see this 3 month, 12 month, and lifetime. So just like this one. Next we have this description, so I'm going to copy this, and here after the h1 we have a p tag with this random text. This p tag will have a class name of margin top will be 4, text will be gray 600, then we have font medium. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have this description. Next we have the pricing. So here we have the price, and we're going to use the div here with class name of margin top of 12, sorry, margin top of 8, and inside this div we have another div with class name of text gray 700, font will be semi bold, so font semi bold, and then what we have is text will be large, and inside this we have a span with the dollar sign and the price, and then after that we have a slash and then the month, and this span will have a class name of text for excel, font will be bold, and text will be black. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our price which looks amazing. So just like this one, we have 39.99 per month and 9.99 per month. Then we have this button. So first after this div we have button, and here we're going to use a div with class name of margin top will be 12, and we're going to use the button from our Tailwind CSS button, and here we are going to use this button. So I'm going to copy the button from here, and then I'm going to paste it inside this div, and here we are going to change some of this to class. We are going to change this to class name, and here the py will be 2.5. Now if I hit save, and the text will be base. Now let's hit save, and the button text will be upgrade now. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our button which looks amazing. So now let's check if our price section is responsive or not. So if I select mobile devices, in the mobile devices you can see it fit perfectly, and let's check this on the iPad devices, and in iPad it also looks amazing. So our pricing section is completed. Now we are going to build the footer section. So if I show you the footer section, here you can see we have 4 parts of the footer section with different types of footer links. So to build this, I'm going to create a new folder inside my home folder, and I'm going to name this footer. And inside this, I'm going to create a file called footer.tsx, and I'm going to use RAFC to create the component boilerplate. And then I'm going to add this footer in our layout. So here, after the children, we are going to add our footer. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have the text footer. Now let's go to the footer.tsx, and here for the first div we have a class name of padding top of 16, padding bottom of 16. Now if I hit save, and then inside this we'll have a div with class name of width will be 80%, image will be auto, items will be start, and we have grid calls of 1. In smaller devices, grid calls will be 2, and we forget to add the grid here. So grid, and then in medium screen we have grid calls of 2, and in large screen we have grid calls of 4. So in medium screen we have grid calls of 3. No, we have grid calls of 2 for the medium screen. Now inside this div we have the first part. So first part, and here we have a div with class name of space y5, and inside this div we have a h1 with the text solution, and this h1 will have a class name of text large, font will be bold, and then we have a p tag with the text enterprise, and this p tag will have a class name of text gray 800, font will be medium, then cursor will be pointer, text small, in hover text blue 950. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our heading solution, and then we have this footer link which is enterprise, just like this one. Now we have two more, so workflow and by team. So I'm going to copy this p two more times, and the second one will be by workflow, workflow, and this one will be by team. So if I go to our project now, so here you can see we have our first part just like this one, and the second part is similar to this one. So I'm going to copy this first part, so copy it and paste it here. So this is the second part, so this is the second part, and here the h1 will be company, then we have about us, then here we have news and praise, then we have our customer, then we have two more, and here we have leadership, and finally we have carriers. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our second part which looks amazing. Next we have this part which is similar to this one, so we're going to copy it again, So let's copy the second part again, and this one will be the third part. And here we are going to change the heading. The heading will be resources, resources. Then here we have blog. Then we have webinar and event. Then we have podcast. Then we have ebook and guide. Now if I hit save, and we do not need it, so I'm going to remove this, and if I save, and here you can see we have our resources. Then we have this contact us section. So after this we have the fourth part. So in the fourth part we have a div, and inside this div we have h1 with contact us, and this h1 will have the same design as this. I'm going to copy this. So let's copy and paste it here. Then after the h1 we have another div with class name of margin top of 6, and inside this div we have a h1 with the text our mobile number, and then we have another h1 with our mobile number. So here I'm going to add a dummy mobile number here, and then this h1 will have a class name of text small, text gray 600, and the next h1 will have a class name of text base font bold and text blue 950, and margin top will be 1. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our contact us with this our mobile number and the mobile number, so just like this one. Next we have the email. So I'm going to copy this div, and here I'm going to change it to our email, and we're going to put our email here. So let's say example at gmail.com. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our email. So this looks amazing. So just like this one, now we have this the bottom part of the footer. So let's copy this text from here, and then after this div we have the bottom part. So here we have a div with class name of margin top will be 8, width will be 80%, mx will be auto, border will be top, padding top will be 8, this one will be flex will be in the column direction, and medium screen flex will be in row direction, justify will be between, items will be center, text gray 600, and text will be small. Now inside this div we have a p tag with our copyright text, and here we have a class name of text will be center, then we have medium screen, text will be in the left. Now if I hit save, and then we have another div with class name of flex. So class name flex, items will be center, space x will be 4, margin top will be 4, and medium screen margin top will be 0. And then inside this div we have a span with the text social, and then we have another span, and inside this we have a icon which is fa Facebook icon from React icon, and this span will have a class name of text gray 500 and hover text gray 800. Now if I hit save and go to our project, and here you can see in the bottom part we have this social with this Facebook icons which looks amazing. Next we have two more icons, so I'm going to copy two more time. The second one will be, so the second one will be fa Twitter, and the third one will be fa Drivel. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have Facebook, Twitter and Drivel. So everything looks nice just like this one. So let's check the responsiveness. So if I inspect and if I select a mobile devices, in mobile devices you can see every section fit perfectly, but here we have some gap issues. So let's check here. Here you can see it doesn't have the space issue, but here we have the spacing problem. So let's see what we missing in our code. Here we will have a gap of 10, so we forget to add the gap. Now if I go to our project, now you can see now it looks fine. So we have the proper spacing and our bottom section is also fit perfectly. Now let's check it in the iPad devices. So in iPad it also looks amazing. So our footer section is completed. Next, we are going to build the scroll to top feature. So in the deployed version here, you can see we have a button. So if I click here, it will go to the top with smooth scrolling. And another thing you can notice that initially it's hidden. When I start scrolling, it appeared to the screen. So now we are going to build this feature. So to build it, I am going to create a file in our helper and I'm going to name it scroll to top.tsx, and I'm going to use RFC to create the component boilerplate, and then I'm going to add this in our layout so that all pages have access to this feature. So here I'm going to add scroll to top, and now in the scroll to top, so first what we are going to do is we are going to convert this into a client component because we are going to use hooks here. Then here we are going to create a state variable. So one is visible and set is visible, and we are going to use state hooks here, and initially this one will be false. Then what we are going to do is we are going to use effect hooks. So we are going to use effect, and inside this we are going to create a function called toggle visibility. So toggle visibility, so this function is to toggle the show and error case. So here we will have an arrow function, and inside this we are going to check if window dot scroll y, so scroll in the y direction, is greater than 300 pixel. Then we are going to set our is visible to true, else we're going to set our is visible to false. So this is our toggle visibility function. Now in the window dot add event listener, we are going to add event listener to the window, and the event listener is scroll, and in the scroll event we are going to call our toggle visibility. So when we start scrolling, the toggle visibility function will be run, and here we are going to use the empty array, empty dependency array. Now it's good practice to remove the event listener in use effects. I'm going to copy this function, and we are going to return an arrow function with this, but here instead of add event listener we are going to use remove event listener. That's it. So this is our use effect function. Now we are going to create a, so let's add a comment. So this is show height functionality. Now we are going to appears when user scrolls down, and then we are going to create a functionality for scroll to top functionality. So here we are going to create a function called scroll to top, and this one will be an arrow function. So this one will be an arrow function, and here we are going to use window dot scroll to, and we are going to scroll to top. So the top will be 0 and the behavior will be smooth. So we want a smooth behavior. So these are our functions, and now here this div will have a class name of, not the children, class name fixed, then we have bottom of 4, animate will be false, then we have right of 4. Then inside this div we are going to use our is visible variable. So if visible, so if visible is true, then we are going to show a button. So we are going to show a button, and the button will have a class name of bd orange 500, text will be white, rounded will be full, width will be 12, height will be 12, this one will be flag, items will be center, then justify will be center, and in focus the outline will be none, and inside this button we will have a arrow icon, so which is fa arrow up. And when we call this button, so in the on click we are going to run our scroll to top function. That's it. So our functionality is completed. Now let's go to our application, and here if I reload the page, and initially you can see we don't have the button, but if I start scrolling then it appear to the screen, and if I click here it will go to the top with smooth scrolling. So if I click here it go to the top with smooth scrolling. So our scroll to top feature is completed. Now we are going to add some animation to our website for more user attraction. So if I show you the animation in the deployed version, so if I reload the page, here you can see we have animation, and when we scroll we have some very beautiful scroll animation. So now we are going to implement this animation in our website. So to build this animation we are going to use a npm package which is AOS, animation on scroll. It is a very easy library to add scroll animation in your website. So here if I scroll, you can see they have different types of animation: fade up, fade down, fade right, fade left, fade up right, up left, and a lot of different types of animation that you can use, like the zoom in, and they have the flip. So to implement this, you just need to add this data AOS property in your div that you want to animate on the scroll. And after adding this, you will have your desired animation on scroll, which is very easy. Now I'm going to open the GitHub page, and they have a detailed documentation. If you want, you can learn more about it. So for now, I'm going to install their packages. So let's use npm to install AOS. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it here, and then I'm going to configure this in our home.tsx. And to configure this, we have to convert this into a line component. So I'm going to use client to convert this into a client component. That's it. Next, what we need to do is we need to import this AOS and the styling. So I'm going to copy this and paste it here. Now here if I hover, you can see it says that we have to install the type. So I'm going to copy this npm script to install the corresponding types of this AOS, and I'm going to hit enter. So this will install the corresponding types of AOS. Now what we are going to do is we are going to initialize AOS. So for this we are going to use effect here, and the dependency array, and then inside this we are going to first create a const init AOS, which will be an async function, and we are going to await import AOS, and then we are going to use AOS dot init, and we are going to pass some property here. So first one is the duration. The duration will be 100 milliseconds. Then we are going to pass the easing. The easing will be ease. Then we are going to pass once. So where will be a comma. The once will be true. So easing will be is. Once will be true, and then finally we have anchor placement will be top bottom. That's it. Now we are going to call our init AOS. So that's it. This is our configuration for AOS. Now we're going to add the animation. So first I'm going to add the animation to our hero section. So in the hero section, here in the text content div, we are going to add a data dash AOS, and we are going to use fade. So we are going to use fade up animation. Now I'm going to copy this, and for the image we are going to use, so let's go to the image section. So here for the image we are going to use fade down, and here we are going to also add another property, which is data dash AOS dash delay. We are going to add a delay here, so that first the text is animated, then the image animate. So we are going to use 150. Now if I go to our project and if I reload the page, here you can see we have our animation, which is amazing. So our animation working properly. Next we are going to add animation to our about us section. So for this, let's go to our hero section. So I'm going to copy this line, and then in the about us we're going to add animation to our image component. So I'm going to paste the data AOS, and this one will be zoom in, and here we're going to add another property, which is data dash AOS dash anchor placement, and we're going to place it to top center. So top center. Now if I hit save, and if I go to our project, and if I reload the page, Here you can see we have the initial animation, and if I start scrolling, we have this about us animation. Amazing. Next, we're going to add animation to our feature section. So I'm going to copy this two line from here, and then I'm going to open my feature section, and in the feature section, in the first box, we're going to paste the animation, and here what we're going to use is we're going to add animation of fade right. So fade right, and the anchor placement will be top center. Now I'm going to copy this two line, and I'm going to paste it for second one. But here we are going to add a delay using data-aos-delay, and the delay will be 100 milliseconds. Now I'm going to copy this, and for the third one the delay will be 200 milliseconds, and for the fourth one everything will be same, but the delay will be 300 milliseconds. And then we have the image content. The image content, the AOS data-AOS will be, let's see the last one, 300. So this one will be 400 millisecond, and here we are going to use fade left. So fade left. Now if I hit save and go to our project, and if I reload the page, here you can see we have our initial animation. If I start scrolling about us section, then we have this feature section animation. Amazing. Next we are going to add our animation to our services section. So let's go to our project. So I'm going to copy this three line from here, and then I'm going to open my services, and here in the first service I'm going to paste it here. This one will be fade right. Let's use fade right here, and for the first one we don't have any delay, so I'm first copy it and then delete it. Then for the second services we have a delay of 100 milliseconds, and then for the third one we have a delay of 200 milliseconds, and then for the fourth one we have a delay of 300 milliseconds. For the fifth one we have a delay of 400 milliseconds, and then for the sixth one we have a delay of 500 milliseconds. Now if I hit save, and if I go to our project, and if I reload the page, so our initial animation, about us animation, then we have this feature section animation, then we have our services section animation, which is amazing. Next we are going to add animation to our client section. So let's go to our client section, so client review section. So I'm going to paste the previously copied animation here, and in the client review section we are going to use zoom in. So zoom in, this one will be top center, and I'm going to copy this, and first one don't have any delay. Then I'm going to go to the second card, and the delay will be 100 millisecond, and for the third card delay will be 200 millisecond, and for the fourth card we have a delay of 300 milliseconds. Now if I hit save and go to our project, and if I reload the page, we have our initial animation, then we have this about us, then we have this feature section, then we have services section animation, then we have this client section animation. Amazing. Next we are going to add animation to our team section. So let's copy this and go to the team section, and here we are going to add animation to this last two images. So I'm going to paste it here. This animation will be fade right, and this one will be top center, and first one we don't have any delay. Now let's go to the second one. So here we have a delay of 100, and that AOS type will be fade right. Now let's hit save and go to our project, and if I reload the page again, we have this animation, about us animation, Then we have this feature section animation, services section animation, client review animation, and then we have this team animation. Amazing. Next, we are going to add animation to our pricing section. So I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to open my pricing section, and here for the first cut we're going to use fade up, and the first one doesn't have any delay, so I'm going to copy it and delete the first delay. So let's copy first and then delete this one. So then for the second dip we have a delay of 100 millisecond, and for the third dip we have a delay of 200 milliseconds. Now if I hit save and go to our project, and let's reload the page. So here you can see initial animation, then about us animation, feature section animation, services animation, then client review animation, team animation, and finally we have this price section animation. So our every animation works properly with scrolling. Let me show you again. So first let's reload the page, and let's show you again the animation. So if I start scrolling, here you can see we have our about us animation, then we will have our feature section animation, and you can see it's very smooth and looks very nice. Then we have service section animation, then the client review animation, then the team section, and finally we have our pricing section animation. So everything works properly. So our animation is completed. So our project is completed. Now we are going to deploy our project in live server. So for the deployment, first we need to push our project in GitHub, and then we are going to use Vercel for our deployment. So first let's go to the GitHub. So I'm going to open my GitHub account, and here I'm going to create a new repository, and I'm going to name it startup YT, and I'm going to make it a private repository, and then I'm going to create a new repository. Then I'm going to open my Visual Studio Code, and I'm going to close one of the terminal and close the project from running. And first we are going to use git init to initialize an empty git, and then I'm going to use git add dot to add. Then we need to do the git commit, and the message will be fast commit. And then we done this, then we have to add our branch. So copy this and paste it here. Then we have to add our remote origin. So copy the remote origin and paste it here, and then push your project in the origin main. So I'm going to copy this and paste it here. So this will push our project in GitHub. So it's completed now. So if I reload here, you can see now we have our project in the GitHub. So here you can see we have the app, component, constant, and all the file here. Next, I'm going to open my Vercel dashboard. So if you don't have Vercel, you can create account for free here. And then I'm going to add a new project. And then I'm going to import the startup YT that we just push in the GitHub. And I'm going to import this. And then I'm going to click here to deploy. So now you can see our deployment is started. So let's wait some time to complete the deployment. Our deployment is completed. Now click here to continue to dashboard, and here you can see we have a custom domain now. So if I click here, it will open our project in the live server. So here you can see this is our project which is running in the live server, and here you can see everything works properly. So we have the scroll animation, so everything looks perfect here. The scroll animation also working properly. Now if I show you the responsiveness, and if I show you in the mobile devices, you can see it fit perfectly. We have every functionality working here. in the deployed version. You can see in iPad devices it also looks very nice. So now you have a link that you can share with others, share with your clients, or you can add this to your resume. So our project is completed now. If you have any question related to this project, you can ask me in the comment section. That's it for today. Thank you.